I'm like still taking it in. You ruined what I liked. Everyone is stupid. And all hell's gonna break loose. So that's a thing. Hello internet, it's either Roshi and I'm back with another reaction. This time, Genshin Impact version trailer 4.0. I'm pretty excited for it. Now, if you're curious about the live stream itself, I am going to react to that as well. That video will be uploaded for my members and they will have access to it for a few days. So if you want to see it early too, then check out that join button and those different levels. It's only level 1 to see my content early. After a few days, however, that video will be made public, so if you don't want to join, you're not missing out, you're still gonna get to see it anyway. Just letting you know in case you wanted to support me while having some nice little benefits here and there. Anyway, I'm pretty excited to get into this, so let's do it.
I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
I, Focalors, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro, and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip. Now, you may rejoice in this. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. Watch carefully now. Blink and you might miss it.
I blinked. Fuck.
Step right up. And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant.
Ta-da! Step on up! Let the magic begin!
Here comes the finale.
I want to spend some time at the bottom of the sea in peace.
Getting gear. Going under.
If you look up at the sky from far enough underwater, even the sun is soft on the ice. These fossils are all that's left of these beautiful creatures. I wonder how long before the rest of the world becomes part of this underwater museum, too.
Wait. Who am I?
The water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Rain. It's raining.
We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Is this part of the show?
You gotta be kidding!
What happened?
Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Your so-called justice, your drama while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people.
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I mean, that was incredible. Oh, okay, hold on. Right away, the music is really well done. Fontaine looks beautiful. I'm like still taking it in. I'm definitely gonna have to re-look at some things here. We have the streets are gray, the fine drizzle like mist. If you don't understand the tricks, just sit back and enjoy the show. But if the farce is all facade, why cry for no reason? Comparing this to the Overture teaser, because that had to do with a lot of Fontaine, and we have the whole magician thing, and seeing is believing and ignorance is bliss, and that there's more behind the scenes. This feels a lot like that. For example here, the streets are gray, the fine drizzle like mist. Now, when we started this trailer, yeah, we have some gray shots, but when we're seeing Fontaine, it's very bright. However, they do talk about the rain and waters rising and all that stuff, right? So the streets are gray, the fine drizzle like mist. So gray as in it's gloomy, there's something ominous on the horizon, there's a fine drizzle. The drizzle is like mist. Mist is obscuring. And when there's a drizzle, you can either match that to something negative or possibly positive. Usually when there's a drizzle, there may also be a rainbow on the horizon. It could lead to sunshine soon after, because it's only a drizzle. It's rain that's not going to last long, right? Or it could be more ominous and negative, because a drizzle could lead to heavier rains. Either way, as of right now, we don't know where it's going to lead because it's like mist. Now, mist can feel refreshing, however, at the same time, like I said before, mist can also obscure your vision. You might not be able to see what's too far ahead of you. Something is hidden. If you don't understand the tricks, just sit back and enjoy the show. This is advice that a magician may just give you. They don't want you to sit there and think about how all the tricks are done. You're just there and you're supposed to enjoy the show. Who cares? Maybe it is fake and you know it's fake, right? But that doesn't mean you have to figure it out. Just enjoy the time. I almost feel like this is a message to me, because I'm over here trying to figure stuff out, and they're all like, you know, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can just enjoy it. Can you just enjoy? Can you just chill? So once again, there it's like ignorance is bliss. And then we have the final line. But if the farce is all facade, why cry for no reason? Now, you know, going back to the whole magic trick thing. It's a magic trick. It's a farce. It's something goofy. It's something that's not real. And it's a facade. It's in your face. It's what's being represented. It's in your face. This is what you see, but you know it's a farce. You know it's just a trick. Why get upset over a trick? So yeah, that's what I'm taking away from this a little bit. Something's obscured. You don't know which way it's leaning towards as of yet. Who cares? Just enjoy the time that you have. Hey, and that you figured it out. It's a trick. Haha, but why are you gonna get upset over that? It's just, it is what it is, man. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm feeling from this right here, upon first glance. Now, back to this trailer. Oh boy, I'm gonna pick you apart. So here in the trailer, we open up with a pretty grim scene. These look like ruins. There's destruction here. Structures are destroyed. There's water, and Focalors is sitting upon a throne. Now, I don't know if this is a shot of the future or a vision, or perhaps maybe another area altogether. But this prophecy tells of Focalors essentially sinking Fontaine and drowning everyone, being left alone and sad about it. Now, the thing about Focalors is that that name is the name of a demon prince, like some demonic duke or captain or something, who is known for destroying everything and drowning people. So that's a thing. It may not be their intention. However, maybe something in the story is going to lead to them kind of going a little nutty and causing such a thing. It is good to know that they're actually saying Focalor, not Focalor, because Focalor is the more French way of pronouncing that name, and that just makes sense since Fontaine is very much France inspired. Focalor is very much involved with things. She doesn't seem to be like she's in hiding or in the background of anything here. Maybe there's other stuff going on, but with this little opening right here, there is some kind of greeting that she will probably give you, or that you will hear, whether or not it's actually from her or not. Very full of herself. That's expected. FACADE just kind of showed up and was just like, yes, you are welcome here. You may be pleased that I have welcomed you. I get it. But Fontaine looks beautiful. I love how it's this plateau, these waterfalls, the structure in general of this whole place looks immaculate. It's super clean. A trial and a performance is blurred. I mean, yeah, that does seem rather confusing. It makes sense that we have characters like Ganfei that study law, and that even she is a little confused about the nature of how Fontaine does things. And they are the region of justice itself. That's pretty confusing, that you'd be this nation of justice, yet things are not very straightforward. That there is acting involved, that there is some kind of stage presence. I mean, if you think about it, just in our history in general, when trials were happening and punishments were being dealt out, they were very public. You have the Colosseum for these gladiatorial games, the French Revolution. You had people guillotined. So as weird as it is to have that line blurred between trial and performance, it actually makes a lot of sense. Trials aren't even private anymore. They're freaking streaming courtroom cases and all sorts of stuff. And they've made television shows out of it. This actually isn't strange anymore. This actually makes a lot of sense all of a sudden. The fact that they're making it entertainment, so do we. Now, this part was just smooth.
Watch carefully now.
I love the hat thing.
Blink and you might miss it.
I missed it!
Okay, so as far as the cards here, you have some blank cards. The cat in a hat thing, which is one of his moves. You have another hat. You have a teacup. You got a little toy robo penguin. Nice choice. Love penguins. You got all these creepy cat faces on the back of these cards. A spectacle of phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria is like images, right? Or visions, like something that you may see in a dream, but you're not sure if it's real, or it's both, or neither. It's something trippy like that. I mean, sure, it makes sense though. He's a magician. He's all about illusions and stuff, right? But then we have this little quote here. Those flowers in the mirror. Who are they for? I wonder if there's anything more to that, or if it's just being funny where he's holding flowers and it's like, oh, like for me, I shouldn't have, you know? So I don't know if it's just like a little bit of a comic relief, or is there some trippy stuff that's happening with mirrors? I know magicians smoke in mirrors and all that stuff anyway. Once again, more things tied to illusions. But it's interesting.
And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant.
Ta-da!
She's very cute. I like Lynette. This is Lynette. Maybe the guy's name is Linny. I kept saying Liney. My bad. Elegance in the shadows. Okay, so when you're in the shadows, you're usually hiding or behind the scenes. She's the assistant, though she's not center stage all the time. Kind of probably does things behind the scenes. I mean, once again, with a magician's act and stuff, usually the main magician, the main performer, is the one that everyone is looking at. They're being very charismatic. They're showing the trick and how it's going to go. And then you have the assistant come in. They show up. They're a spectacle as well. But then they get set into the trick. Like, for example, changing clothes in a box, or getting cut in half, or being trapped in something and trying to escape. And there's things that the assistant is actually doing that the audience doesn't get to see. So maybe that aspect in itself could be referred to as the shadows. Also, just when it comes to theater in general, where you have people doing stuff on stage, they usually wear like all black, and that was to kind of give you that feeling of like they're not the focus, they're not there, things are just happening, they're just the shadows of the stage and things are just happening. There might be a little bit of that going on as well. But then the firmament glimpsed in a reflected moon. So once again, reflection in this one, and Linny had reference to a mirror. We know firmament means like heavens. It just sounds very tranquil. It's just something, it's about the little things. Sometimes Linny is very much in front, being the centerpiece, being charismatic, making the show go on, being the funny guy. And then you have Lynette here, who is very peaceful and quiet and more to herself, yet elegant. And the things that she does to help out are a little more behind the scenes, the things that aren't focused on, the things that are in the shadows. And, you know, them being twins and them being stage partners, this is their dynamic. Also, I love how the music was definitely very like European and like French inspired when we started and opened up with the Fontaine, and then it just got very jazzy when these two came up on screen.
You like jazz?
I love jazz so much. Right, so this is Remnant. This is the diver, right? Yearning for unseen depths. Two things I take away from that. One is the obvious, and that this guy's a diver and he wants to explore. We can get a little more symbolic here as well, and for number two, and think of wanting to cut the bullshit. Comparing it to what I do with these videos, I could just sit here and be like, yeah, Remnant's cool, he's a diver. Or I can be like, this is someone who wants more out of their life and they are trying to search for deeper meanings by looking into things closer, by actually going deeper into finding some things. Maybe this guy doesn't help his brother and sister with their show because it's very superficial in his mind. It's tricking people. It's kind of fake to him. And he's just like, no, I want to actually like do more than just play tricks. I want to find out truths and stuff. From the Overture teaser, Linny and Lynette are obviously mixed in with the Fatui and are being controlled supposedly by the Knave. She wants them to put on this performance. I feel like if that is the case, even with Remnant here, that he doesn't want to be a part of that. Maybe he wants to figure out the truth, but maybe not the way that they're doing it. Alone under the cold light of stars. They're a loner, right? I feel like that kind of answers my question, where they're kind of don't want to be a part of other things. Maybe he's not fully accepted. Alone under the cold light of stars. Do you think the twins mistreat him? Or pay him no attention? Do you think they're a little cold? They're stars after all, right? Maybe their relationship isn't the best. And maybe that has something to do with this guy's passions over theirs. How this person wants truth, he wants depth, he wants to know more about what's going on. And the others are just like, enjoy the show. Going back to the description real quick. The streets are gray, the fine drizzle like mist. If you don't understand the tricks, just sit back and enjoy the show. But if the farce is all facade, why cry for no reason? Is this Linny talking to Firminette? I feel like this is Linny talking in general. Because that message feels very like, hey, you're not gonna understand everything. Just enjoy it for what it is. So what if it's a trick? You're gonna cry about it? Fucking get out of here, dude. I kind of feel like there's a little, maybe not, but my mind's kind of going there a little bit. I'm gonna drop what I think happens right now. You, Traveler, and Paimon. Well, you come to Fontaine, you meet all sorts of interesting characters, you end up figuring out some like, some weird, tricky stuff going on. Maybe nothing huge yet, but hey, you get to this show, and you're watching this show as some special guest, we are made to believe that something is happening to Lynette. Lynette, in my opinion, is 100% fine. This is part of the act. This is what is being shown. This is what's being shown to us. This is the magic trick. These are the actors right now for the Fatui. Going back to the Overture teaser, we had the Knave being all like, you can't just be magicians, you gotta be actors. This here is happening to set something up. This is like the big first push that the Fatui are doing in this region, and Lenny and Lynette are the ones who are starting it off. Lynette's gonna disappear, we're gonna be blamed for some of that crap, and we're gonna have a freaking trial, and all hell's gonna break loose. It might not happen exactly like that, of course, I'm just kind of spitballing here. Even if it's not that trick in particular, I think Lenny and Lynette are going to be the main ones to start things off. You have this prophecy thing that's happening in the background. There's all these little hints that, people are losing their memories. And I think this is all set up for a big eventual overthrow of power.
Your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people.
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
People have a problem with the system. There are obviously going to be people who are suffering and that are being forgotten about, but because this region is just so hell-bent on keeping their way of doing things, their justice system is just extremely corrupted, that it's no longer for keeping the justice for the people, but it's turned into just tradition and a sick game to them. It's just entertainment at this point. So I feel like that shows signs of some things leading to people being rebelled against and or betrayed down the line. Once again, tying this to the French Revolution, how you had the people get sick of their rulers and then took over and then continued to actually fuck it up anyway. But I mean, that's not the point. The point is that, you know, when people get tired of being told what to do in a messed up system, they have a revolution. So things are definitely getting more intense here. And then we have Child enter the screen.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
So here's the thing. We have the twins and then there's Firmament as well. Wants nothing to do with these guys' plans because they're essentially working for the Fatui. This guy's like, fuck that, I don't want a part of that, I want to find out things my own way. These two pull off some kind of trick which sets things off that make it seem like you are responsible for in a very bad way. Our judge guy, being ahead of that system, is like, fuck you, you broke our rules, now we're going to punish you in our way with our justice system. Things get a little wild, maybe you try to escape. This person tries to help you, I don't know, she's like a model or something, maybe she has some other stuff going on. I know the least about her right now, I think. But maybe she's the one that kind of greets you when you first kind of enter the place. Like maybe she's a friend that you meet relatively quick and kind of shows you around. And maybe she's the reason why you're able to even get in on this performance, right? Either way, you get in trouble. This guy's about to cast down judgment. Child gets involved because, you know, he's with the Fatui, so he's here. Maybe he's taking a more direct approach. Maybe he's like, fuck your system and your way of doing things. I have my way of doing things too. So maybe he's not in on the plan that they're doing, but Child still has his own way about going about something related to that. And then you have Focalors probably just show up and she's like, you know what? This thing? This whole bickering, this whole back and forth is horseshit. This place is going under. You ruined what I liked. Everyone is stupid. You all drown. She is the Archon of justice, so what she says goes and is justice. And if she's like, y'all get punished, I feel like that's her way of justice. And maybe that's something that the Fatui want for some reason. Maybe that will help them in some way. I don't know all of the Fatui's goals in general and the thing that they are actually after, other than to reveal some kind of truth. The justice system in general is a big antagonist, but it's really the Fatui behind the scenes, pulling the strings, making sure that things go off in a certain direction so they can get what they want by having the Archon react a specific way. Fontaine looks awesome. The characters, love the vibe that they have. The music was amazing. Going from this European classical style with like that French influence, and then it kind of just morphed into the more high energy jazz for the performers, and then it turned into a more epic tone for when things really started to hit the fan. There are so many things going on in this. The Hydro Archon's prophecy, the relationship between characters, the performance versus the truth, the performance blurred with the justice system. There are so many moving parts, kind of like clockwork. This just looks like a blast. I'm so happy I got to see it, and that I'm finally kind of caught up with everyone else, at least with version trailers. And yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the live stream now. Now I have to see all the other stuff. So if you're interested in that at all, that will be going up on my channel for my members first for a few days, and then it'll go public. If you want to check it out, feel free to become a member, level 1 member, 99 cents a month, pretty good. If not, no worries, because it will go public. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. This was so much fun to look at, so much fun to dive into. If you enjoyed the video, then, you know, make the algorithm happy and me happy by subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, liking the video, sharing it, all that good stuff. And like always, if you made it to the end of my video, then somewhere in the comment section down below, within your message, leave the word deep dive. And that way I will know that you are indeed a real one. Thank you so much for joining me. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.